All right, hello everybody, and welcome to week 2 here of the Learning Fives April 2017 season. We are here with our week 2 show match between Team Solo Nut and Team Bullet. TSN is on the blue side and Team Bullet is on the red. So we're coming in here to picks and bans. The coaches have agreed that there will be no target bans as per usual, so we'll see what both of these teams value in terms of what they think is a strong pick right now. And it looks like Team Solo Nut believes that nothing is a strong pick.
I'd like to mention that I am not actually Can Opener Dude. Anyone who's looking forward to him, sorry about that.
No, what? I changed it! No!
I'm Epic Death Guy. That's Niberia.
Yes.
And
Niberia, who is
hopping right into bans.
Frantically
The supports
all
are being
government.
taken off the table.
Yeah, so that was just a straight skipped ban. Now, the question is, it didn't tick down to 0, did it?
Wait a minute, they skipped a ban.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
How do you ban nothing? Without it going
Maybe
down
it
to
did
0?
tick down, we just missed it.
Maybe it did. I don't know. I'm just not good at noticing things. So, Graves ban makes sense. Ari ban, it's seen some play in the promotion tournament. Is it strong in general outside of that, or is this just sort of...
Since all mid laners have been kind of like slowly getting hit every once in a while, Ari has just risen to the top. She is, in solo queue, one of the top pick rate champions, as well as having a super high win rate. So, I mean, high win rate, high play rate equals very strong champion. So, Ari is definitely a very good pick.
the Mumu ban, though.
Yeah, well, Amumu did get some recent buffs, and especially in low elo games, especially in a 5v5 environment, like Learning Fives, Amumu is just a very solid champion to go with.
Right.
Kind of does what like a Zac does, just much more binary, harder to mess up with. So, just a reliable jungler that gets the job done. And with the most recent buffs, he has an insane team fighting with magic damage on his team.
Yeah. So, Sion into Darius. How does this top lane matchup go generally? I'd assume Darius wins early, but does Sion ever win back? Because
well, Darius just kind of like... thing about Sion is he doesn't really have an escape unless he's going to use his ult and scream cowards while running away.
the only way to use it.
Darius can build 5 bleed stacks up on Sion really easily because he doesn't have that mobility. So when Darius has a big tanky target to build bleed stacks on, that basically means that he can go crazy in fights and whatnot, and he gets really good trades too. So this is pretty much a winning matchup for Darius. Although the Gragas will help mend that, as the cask, the ultimate, has is a really good disengage tool, which you need disengage against Darius. So that they've now picked that up.
Caitlyn coming out, that's not surprising as well. Just a solid laner in general. Very good at harass, very good at making the other AD carry hate their life. You know, just solid AD carry all around. We have Orianna into Syndra here. Now, there's been some contention, that I remember at least, between who's supposed to win this matchup and who's actually winning it, but I believe that's due to a skill disparity or perceived skill disparity, at least in the LCS. Syndra should win this, right?
Well, thing is, it's Orianna. She has her shield, and she's also going to be taking barrier, it looks like, this game. So it's going to be really hard for the Syndra to find 100-0, especially in the later phases of the game. And if you look, they already have 2 other tanky members on Team Bullet. Or sorry, not Team Bullet. Team Solo Nuts. I don't want to keep saying Solo Nuts. Should we just go TSN, BLT?
Yeah,
when I say BLT, though, I think Bacon slid into Maya.
Yeah.
Oh my god. There's no way to win with this. What were those tags, Brian? Was that intentional?
I'm assuming so. I'm
All
assuming they're
right,
just trying to confuse us all.
we're gonna go
Um,
TSN and BLT. But TSN has two tanky members, and then the shielding from Oriana. The Ezreal is basically the only target here, but once Nami gets that locket, it's gonna be really hard to burst down any targets.
right.
Um,
Because I mean, this is overall, this might be a weird way to put this, but this is actually overall a pretty tanky team. Not just the top laner and jungler either, right? Because uh, I guess you'd call it false tankiness with the Nami sustain and the Oriana shields.
mhm.
Um, you have this sort of almost infinite pool of health if everyone stays alive. But on the other hand, there's a lot of burst coming out from Team Bullet, which can only really go down onto the Ezreal, Nami, or Oriana, because Gragas and Sion will survive it. I believe even if you blow Rengar ult and Syndra ult, which would be huge for just one person, on Gragas or Sion, they'll still survive. Unless the rest of your team is there to follow up.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. If you look, they don't really have any assassins or any dive, but they do have the the Gragas ultimate, which can, get the backline forward
Mm,
as a sort of engage. But the Oriana ulti could be a really good form of engage, but it's really just dependent on the enemy team to misplay and step onto that ball. And look at that backline. Syndra, Caitlyn, and then a Soraka. This Soraka, if she positions well, can keep everyone alive because there isn't a lot of burst damage on the side of TSN. So, if this, I mean, it's really going to be dependent on if they can pop that backline before Soraka just keeps healing people up. Because if Darius just stays alive, he can just keep going, hitting those keys for sustain, getting Soraka heals. And, I mean, it's it's a really damage heavy squishy team versus a really tanky team, and basically it's up to TSN to look for the picks onto the squishy members in those team fights.
well, what are the... That's odd. Ignite on Soraka, it looks like. That's,
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I mean,
It works, but not
it
used
is
to seeing
against a
that.
healer, so there's some reason to it, I guess. Some method behind the madness, if you will say.
We can hope at least. But for these teams, what is their win condition? Because you said TSN needs to wait for a pick, or maybe do they have a better team fighting composition overall? Because Rengar, I feel, doesn't do a whole lot in team fights unless it's in the jungle, because you don't really have a reliable way to engage, and unless you come in with your ultimate, mid fight, and then 100 to 0 someone that way, you're not really going to be able to get on to anyone unless you build tanky.
Yeah, well, depending on if Ezreal goes Iceborne or not, that's going to make it either Ezreal is a target or Ezreal is not a target. Because once Ezreal gets an Iceborne, he's going to have too much armor. And I'd really like to see the Ezreal go Ninja Tabby this game.
Right.
Because against the Caitlyn Rengar, he's going to get kind of like autoed a bit. At least he will be a target. And if he goes Ninja, he won't be really killable anymore by them. He has to only watch out for the Syndra at that point, which a Locket or just a GA or a Maw or something will basically save him from every single time.
Right, well, we'll talk a little bit more about these team comps when we get into the game, but for the meantime, enjoy our royalty-free, Riot-provided music and our beautiful loading screen. See you in a few seconds. All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Game 1 of the series between Team Solo Nut and Team Bullet. We are in Week 2 here in the EU show matches of Learning Fives. I'm Nibiria. I'm joined here by Epic Death Guy. How you doing?
I'm excited. I always love me some Darius. And with this composition, the Soraka will be able to possibly keep him going through those fights. Although there isn't much setup CC for him, it's going to be a bit rough. But at the same time, there are some pretty immobile members on the side of TSN, so...
Yeah, we'll hope that it comes out. We know that you brought out quite mean Darius in the coaching
Oh,
show
God.
match, so... We'll
we don't talk about that.
we'll defer to your Darius expertise, but in the meantime, while they're just kind of sitting in the bushes here, going to do a quick rundown of the two teams. On the blue side, we have Team Solo Nut with Toxic Liberator in the top lane, Mr. Rusty FMJ in the jungle, controlling in the mid lane, Feckface on Ezreal, 80 carry, Zeratus on support. And for the red team, Team Bullet, we have Italian Dyrus in the top lane, Sweeping Blade in the jungle, Feral AF on mid lane Syndra, 1v5 God on Caitlyn, and not Diamond 5 on support. I'm going to say, if your name is 1v5 God and you don't prioritize Vayne, you're either making a mistake or much less toxic than I'd expect you to be. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
well,
The series
speaking of
isn't over
Vayne,
yet.
the ADC of TSN is actually a comfortable Vayne player. About a 76% win rate in his solo queue games, I believe. So maybe we could see the Vayne on the opposite side game too.
If only it were blind pick and we could see Vayne versus Vayne.
Oh gosh, I don't think anyone wants to watch the Vayne spotting from that.
Oh, I would, man. I have a notepad right here. I could literally take notes on the points. It'd be amazing. The Riot client is still being unfriendly to us in the spectator mode, so you will see some stuttering as it sort of freezes up, and then some really fast movement as I try and catch up to the timetable, like what just happened. So
Yeah.
we apologize, but there is nothing we can do about this. It's worth
Start a
noting.
petition.
Yeah, sign a petition. We'll write one to the White House using petition.org, and we'll be like, make Riot fix their spectator client. And, you know, maybe we'll get enough. Just
Isn't
maybe.
it change.org?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
I don't.
I think you're right. I think I was just sorely misinformed.
Everyone knows that petitions do nothing.
Oh, geez. Toxic Liberator is going to get smacked here by Italian Dyrus. Oh, the 5 stacks are fully up. Hemorrhaging for his life.
And
Not gonna go
that's the top lane matchup that I was mentioning. He was level 2 Darius against a level 3 Scion, and he's just spanking
Sweeping
him.
Blade's
I
gonna
mean,
die. Nope. Damn.
what?
Sweeping Blade is about, like, 50 health in the jungle right now.
Oh. Yesterday we had an execute from a DC. It was
Oh,
also a Rengar, too. So,
Toxic Liberator going to get the stun onto Italian Dyrus and then start running away, but we'll see if Dyrus...
he's one away.
He gets the
5 bleed
heal.
stacks. Oh, but
Rusty
Mr.
FMJ is
Rusty.
coming in, though. Italian Dyrus flashing to get the first blood. I think that's about as well as that could have gone for him there.
alright. I respect that. The Mastery 7 coming out, too. Really aggressive play, but he got the 5 bleed stacks. He gets the extra AD, and he plays aggressively with it. And at that point, he already knew that he was dead. He committed to it. Now, he doesn't have Flash anymore, and Scion does have Flash, so it's going to make it a little bit safer against this in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
But, I
Uh-oh.
mean... Oh? Okay,
Maybe
he did
not
take some
uh-oh.
damage
Maybe
there.
some uh-oh? I don't know how I feel yet. No one's gotten close to dying.
He also already used TP, so Italian Dyrus really low. No TP, no Flash. This is a prime gank target right now, basically, for
Absolutely.
Mr. Rusty FMJ.
But Rusty has already been top lane, so I assume Italian Dyrus is either expecting it or expecting him to not come top lane again.
Oh, speaking of ganks, Sweeping Blade going in the mid
Sweeping Blade
lane.
coming in, getting the slow with the E there. Sweeping Blade not going to get the 4th Ferocity stack so that he can't get the snare, but a good gank that blows both Flash and Barrier on the side of controlling. So maybe we'll see a return gank in the next few minutes. Keep your eyes on the Flash timer, because surely Sweeping Blade will be doing the same.
Yeah. he had that gank as sort of a response to what happened in the top lane. He walked into the bottom side jungle, was looking for a possible invade, and said, "Okay, well, I could maybe just get this Orianna instead." It was very unlikely that controlling would die since he was pretty far back in the lane. But both summoners is being blown is definitely really good, and it was a nice stun by Fairlaugh that set that up.
And also, no summoners were blown by Sweeping Blade in that engagement. He just walked up, didn't even have the 4th ferocity stack, and just slowed him and got all that off. And ooh, 1v5 God getting hit by a bubble. They're going to use the 90 caliber.
Oh, Nami's going to get snared.
Zarada's. Oh, a flashing knight coming in from Not Diamond 5. Heal going to go down from Feckface. Is Zarada's going to survive? Looks like just barely. Going to stay in lane, popping all those potions. Oh, Not Diamond 5.
Oh, Not Diamond 5.
1v5 God having to blow heal there, so no heal for either AD carry. And funnily enough, Team Bullet actually gets the worst end of that trade. They blew 3 summoners compared to only 1.
Yeah, I was really aggressive by Not Diamond 5.
It was funny, though.
Now, for my knowledge of the Soraka v anything bot lane matchup, Soraka doesn't really have that much kill pressure as a champion, so
right, we just saw the extent of the kill pressure. It is
yeah, Nami was pretty low.
Ignite.
Yeah, and it was kind of.
Nope, nothing's happening.
Is he standing on a ward?
No, but
okay, no.
Scrying.
They just had a feeling.
Yeah.
An inkling.
Ooh, Italian Dyrus with the recall BM there. That's some incredible micro coming out.
There's some BM going up in the top lane, but Italian Dyrus going aggressive, has level 6 now. Oh no, this can be bad for Toxic.
Liberator fighting a little too aggressively for this. Italian Dyrus is getting low, but did just get the last hemorrhage stack, and Toxic Liberator is going to go down to the hemorrhage.
Yeah, Italian Dyrus missed the outer part of his Q, which made him only have 4 bleed stacks there, and he got a little nervous for a second, as did I, but goes in anyways and gets the kill, and Toxic had flash there, so I don't know why he didn't burn it, as he could have escaped there. Flashed out, TP'd back to lane, and just, you know, grabbed some CS. Now he's missing a giant wave. He's going to TP for it now, but he already gave up a kill.
Yeah, we'll just take a little bit of inventory here of the state of the game after that trade. It looks like for the top lane, clearly Team Bullet is winning with a 20 CS lead and a 1 kill lead here. But the total gold lead is only 1k, which isn't... Okay, it's 10% of the total gold for each team. That's... Did I say the 10k lead? It's 1k.
Yeah.
So that's fairly significant at this point, but not significant enough to mean that the game is over. Because with 1k gold spread over 5 members, that's maybe 200 to each. That's not how it's spread. I believe most of it would be on Italian Dyrus here.
Yeah.
But he only has a 700 gold lead over his opponent. This is, interesting.
Oh,
some
gosh.
Good farm zoning
Italian is
coming
going
out
aggressive
from Italian
again.
Dyrus. Toxic Liberator.
No, Toxic has flash this time.
Yep.
Oh, Dyrus don't go for it. All right.
Yep. Nope. He's not going for it.
But yeah, look at this. I mean, this matchup is just so Darius favored, and he's spanking in the Scion.
Yeah.
And you can see by Toxic Liberator's tag, he is a Scion main. He should try. You know, he should know matchups very well on Scion. But there's not much you can do, even with knowledge, in this matchup, as it's just Darius is a powerhouse, especially against tanky melee champions. He just gets free stacks, and then like in a team fight, if a Scion and a Darius are smacking each other, that's obviously going to be so much more beneficial for the Darius, as it'll get him 5 hemorrhage stacks, and then he'll have the Noxian Might, and then he can just go and spank the other members of TSN. So, I mean, I know he's a Scion main, but you gotta just possibly question first picking it, because that just gives so much free reign to the enemy's pick.
Well, especially because target bans were disallowed. No one's going to take Scion away from you.
Yeah. So, I mean, you didn't have to, like, worry about picking it early.
It was a little too early on the engage there from 1v5 God, which means Sweeping Blade's ultimate didn't really get anything. He still has the stealth. Doesn't know that Mr. Rusty is in the bot lane here. So, perhaps a 3v2 will come out in favor of TSN in a second. But it looks like Rusty's not going to go for it.
Yeah, and Sweeping Blade there, he's kind of just like, he wants to gank a lane, but every lane is playing forward and shoving out.
Hmm.
Even his mid lane was shoved up to like the 2/3 point near the enemy blue tower. So I mean, he really has nowhere to gank right now. So what he needs to be doing is he needs to be farming, getting prepared to counter gank, tracking the enemy jungler, and possibly invading Rusty's jungle as well. I like that he's trying to play for his team in the form of a gank, but he really should be playing for, just efficiency and denying gold and vision right now, because there's no lanes he can really gank. But as I say that, there might be some soon.
Possible engage coming down on the mid lane on Feral in a second, but it doesn't look like Feral's going to get caught. So if Rusty is going to go for the efficiency and just start power farming, like you said, what item build should we expect? Would it be different than if he weren't power farming? Because it looks like he's going for the runic echoes.
Well, I was saying that Sweeping Blade should be farming.
Oh, Sweeping Blade. Sorry,
because
my
everyone
bad.
was pushed out for his lane, yeah. But the Runic Echoes Gragas, I actually I like it because it gives Gragas mana sustain that he doesn't have otherwise.
Bubble going
But
down. Not Diamond 5 is going to get blown up here. Has to flash out, get the heal, and the Soraka ult coming. Not Diamond 5 is going to go down here first. 1v5 God probably going to escape here. 90 caliber net does give enough slow.
Teleport by Italian Dire is
Oh, not going to turn into anything.
he got the pink ward. That's what he came for.
He got the control ward. He's like, all right, my mission is complete. Oh.
He's looking for a second control ward too.
He's going for a twofer. Is he going to get it? Get it? Oh, he got the kill. But can he get Feckface? He probably can't because that is an Ezreal.
He has flash though. Ezreal doesn't have
Italian
any
Dyrus
anymore.
might actually get caught out here. Toxic
With
Liberator
the trap.
coming with the trap. Brilliantly placed by 1v5 God. Now the fun thing about the trap is, you don't know which side the teleport's going to land on.
Well, wards you just get placed right on top of the ward, I believe, right?
Oh, is it only for only for towers that they changed it?
Well, no, towers they changed it so you're. Wait, did they make it so you're always behind the tower now, or what?
I can't remember. They made like a few changes in a row to it.
I think that it's you're always behind it because it used to be completely random. Now they made it so like you always go behind it or something, or maybe like the opposite side of like where you TP from. Or like the closest side. So like if you TP from like base to top lane turret, you'll be placed like to the inside. I don't know.
We'll have to examine that as we go forward and see if that holds up. Something interesting here that maybe you want to talk on. Caitlyn with Bork. She's the last person I would expect, even with the changes, to get it, because with Caitlyn, my understanding was you want the raw AD for headshot.
I could see it being good. Bork did get changed to have more raw AD instead of being so attack speed focused. They took away attack speed in favor of more damage. And I think that makes it a pretty viable option for Caitlyn, especially since Caitlyn loved getting rune-ons anyways. So she can go for more of a Varus build. You know how Varus builds with the new patch? He goes for he goes for Bork into rune-ons into Phantom Dancer. I think that build path would be viable for Caitlyn too.
See, that's weird.
I'm not sure if it's supposed to go in that order. Maybe not the Phantom Dancer. The Phantom Dancer, she already has so much range. Maybe she doesn't need survivability.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my gosh. What is going on?
Oh, two-man shockwave coming down from controlling.
He gets the bleed kill.
He got the kill? What? Italian Dire is going to get controlling now. No, Faralaf is going to get it with the ultimate there. Italian Dire is going to try and take out Feckface. It looks like Zeratus is coming in with a tidal wave to try and save his AD carry. And one last Q from Feckface, almost killing him. Sweeping Blade coming out, possibly going to kill Zeratus. Zeratus has to flash out. A stun going down. Snare. Sorry. Faralaf going to pick up the kill.
Really nice Ebola by Sweeping Blade. The enhanced Ebola. Some might say.
Make the CDC proud.
Yeah. Really well played by Italian Dyrus. Almost got picked off there by Feckface on the way out.
Great
he got really low and barely barely dodged the last Ezreal Q. So
I think it actually hit him.
Did it? I think it was an auto that hit him at the end there.
Because I know just before the blast plant, one did hit.
I thought that was an Ezreal auto. It looked like an auto with Nami Q on it. I might be
Possibly.
mistaken,
Possibly.
but
It's hard to tell sometimes.
doesn't matter. He lived. GG, easy.
Yeah.
Makes it out alive.
And I mean,
this,
that's a huge gold swing as well.
yeah. And I mean, Italian Dyrus is already, pretty fed. 3-1-2 right now. 113 CS to 71. About what? Over 1,500 gold. More like 1.8 thousand gold. It's a huge gold lead right now. And oh, it looks like they're rotating the bot lane of TSN to the top side.
Interesting.
So there's no dragon, there's no bot outer, but there's also no top outer. And it looks like BLT is playing their bot lane in the mid to just siege down that mid turret, which is smart because that's the only outer turret left.
Do they have good enough siege to really do that, or should Sweeping Blade be doing what he's doing right now and just kind of skulking around looking for someone?
Well, Sweeping Blade can do that while they're sieging the mid lane. Oh, barely misses the QE by for awful.
Barely missing. Rusty FMJ gonna dying to the
Nice.
unleashed power from Feral.
Syndra R is a fun and balanced ability in the League of Legends.
Yeah. It's not even a matter of balance. It's just a matter of it is probably the least fun ability to play against.
I mean, I've played Veigar before, and when a Twitch walks up and you literally just press R 100 to 0 him, that's not very fun either.
It's a little bit unfun too. Oh, Italian Dyrus is getting killed out here. Does get the heal from 1 on the Decimate, but it's nowhere near enough to save him. Going a little bit too
can't dodge
aggressive.
those Ezreal. Yeah, couldn't dodge the Ezreal Qs that time, but
Oh, Sweeping Blade trying to assassinate the...
they have to be
Sion.
careful though. They lost Italian Dyrus. He does have TP up, but they have to be cautious. I mean, this team composition of the Orianna, Gragas, Sion can still do Orianna Shockwave into Nami ulti, which is currently down, so that's not a really threat. But then they could also get the Ezreal ulti, which is also down, layered on that, into the Sion ult, Sion
Which isn't
Q, and then Gragas just AoE. They have a lot of AoE, CC damage, and they could just keep them locked down for a few seconds as 5. I mean, think of this, okay? Shockwave into Tidal Wave, into Sion ult, into Sion Q, into Gragas E, into Gragas ult. Like,
Yeah, the exploding cast just to make sure no one can protect each other at that point.
they're literally going to be stuck there as 5, not moving for 5 seconds. I mean, and it's definitely a possibility. It's all dependent on if they can get, the 5k Elo Shockwave.
Yeah.
The 5 million Elo Shockwave.
Well,
But-
it's a possibility. It's always possible. But
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, if you look at this composition, 3 members are going to be almost always, in like a similar position. The Soraka, Syndra, Caitlyn. And those are the priority targets. So even if you don't get, the Rengar in there or something, it's not that big of a deal. Because if you have those 3, they're obliterated, shredded. Little tiny
Right.
bits of champions left.
it's actually interesting to me. If I was looking at the scoreboard for Team Bullet, and their AD carry has 0 kill participation. I guess they're just prioritizing sieging, and there also weren't enough ganks bot lane to get any kills out.
Yeah, the bot lane itself wasn't too aggressive. Feckface has kind of just been getting kills in the jungle and just around in random skirmishes. He got one against Italian Dyrus, and I can't recall the other one. Oh, it was in the bot lane against not Diamond 5.
Yeah, after that aggressive, the Star Call Ignite.
Well, it was no, that wasn't. He didn't die from that. He died near the tri-bush when he was warding it, I believe. Regardless of how the Soraka dies, the Soraka is always going to be dying.
Yeah, it's
Soraka is
Soraka.
#1 public enemy.
The question I have, though...
The
about
dragon here. Wait.
Oh.
Mr. Rusty might go for a sale.
No, it's not gonna. He tried with his...
If the blast cone was there, I actually would have said I want him to blast cone in, try to go for the steal, and just E out.
Yeah, you could probably Blast Cone explosive cast them away.
I really enjoy actually having the blast cone.
Oh,
Never
jeez.
mind. This is
Controlling
more
needing a
important than
lot of
blast
damage there.
cones.
Unleash power going out, but it's not enough to kill him because of all the shields. Not Diamond 5 gonna have to flash out using Star Call, or not Star Call. Not Diamond 5 getting a little bit low. Italian Dyrus in there. Cowards coming out. onto Not Diamond Fry from Toxic Liberator. Shockwave going out onto 1 or 2. It looks like Italian Dire is coming in, controlling, getting really low. Sweeping Blade also getting really low, but Rusty FMJ is going down.
No.
Italian Dire is on a rampage. He flashes in with the Decimate, gets everyone incredibly low. Toxic Liberator is going to go down to the Noxian Guillotine, but Toxic Liberator's passive is up. Going to have to kill it beforehand so that Feral doesn't go down. Italian Dire is getting incredibly low and gets sniped out by the Q of Ezreal, whose name I forgot for a half second. Mystic Shot. All right. Ooh, Feckface possibly going down. Bork was popped onto him. But
I thought you forgot Feckface's name.
Yeah, it's...
How could you forget the Mystic Shot, the legendary ability of Ezreal? That's basically his bread and butter.
Yeah. Oh, geez. The damage coming out from those autos is crazy. 1v5 God getting a little bit low. True Shot Barrage going wide, though, so he's going to be safe for now.
Yeah, he had the Soraka near him. The Soraka was near 1v5 God, so she would have just healed him up. Or healed the Caitlyn up if that was really that much of a risk. But
so I do have a question for both of these teams. With the state of the game as it is right now, who does each team build around? Who do they build their late game success around? For TSN, it should be Feckface, right?
Yeah, they really need to play around the Ezreal because he's basically the most of the team right now. I mean, he has what? I think he has tied for highest kill participation, and I'm guessing he has a pretty decent damage dealt to champions right now. And he did go for the Iceborne Gauntlet, so he is not really that big of a target against the Rengar. He can kite out the Darius with that. I really like that pickup.
Oh, Toxic Liberator getting a lot of health taken out, but Sweeping Blade going to get caught out here. The Q knockup coming out. Feckface coming down, trying to kill Sweeping Blade. Sweeping Blade does go down.
Yeah.
Caitlyn ult comes out. Caitlyn, 1v5 God, stuck on the backside. Explosive Cast comes out, knocks 1v5 God back into the team of TSN. But it's not going to be enough.
Yeah, well, they have to be careful walking right there, because if they walked forward at all, any closer to the wall, Italian Dire would have apprehended them over the wall, and then just started wailing on them. And if he gets a Nami or an Orianna, they have no dashes.
Wow. That was a great stun.
Yeah, Farlaf has been hitting a lot of good stuns this game. Oh, he's getting really far up, but yeah, he's getting those stuns.
But he's getting chunked out in the meantime.
Give me a dime every time he hits a stun, I'd be a rich man by now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Syndra is kind of, I mean, I don't like it, but Syndra's kind of like, I don't like that this is the fact that Syndra is their primary form of engage besides the Rengar, and Rengar isn't really great engage either. So they have two forms of like soft engage, if you will. I mean, they can't really like, it's not like a Shockwave or a Scion ulti, or, you know, the explosive cask by Gragas. Not even like a Nami tidal wave. They really don't have that much engage compared to, you know, all the engage and CC on the side of TSN. So really, they just need to, you know, look for picks, and then just capitalize on the misplays of TSN right now, because they really can't brute force their way through the game at this point.
Yeah, but the question is, though, to your point, if they should be going for picks, how do they initiate that necessarily if everyone's grouped up? Do they just lose at that point? Do you have to try and bait an objective and bait TSN into a fight? Because I feel like that wouldn't go very well either. Because if you try and bait them into an objective fight, there's Shockwave, there's Scion Ultimate, there's Explosive Cast from Gragas, there's all these huge team fighting tools. What do you even do?
Yeah, well, basically they need to get Vision Denial, and then they need to look to just, I mean, at this point, they're still stronger, and sometimes there are games where you just cannot win in certain scenarios without the enemy misplaying because of certain comps being stronger than others in certain aspects. And this would be one of them, although they do have the strength, the gold lead, and they have a Darius who could potentially outplay because of bleed stacks and whatnot. So they can win a 5v5. And
possible jungle coming out here. Odd positioning. It looks like Rusty FMJ is the target. Tidal Wave coming out. So Tidal Wave for Rengar Ultimate, not terrible.
Yeah, and Dragon is spawning in 30 seconds, so both teams have established as much Baron control as they can right now. But there is a free Dragon coming up soon, an Ocean Drake, so it's not the most, wanted of Drakes. But it definitely helps out, especially with a Soraka. Soraka will get bonus health regen from that Ocean Drake, so she can kind of heal her teammates, go away from the enemy team, make sure she's not getting hit at all, and then just regen more and more health. So she'll have a lot more sustain, which will help the team really, like, a lot. Because effective health for Soraka means much more effective health for the enemy team, or for her team.
Well, my question on the subject of effective health here, as there's going to be a Baron fight in a second, but I'll try and get this point out before then. Mr. Rusty FMJ, his build gives him about as much health as Sweeping Blaze. There's a 20 health differential between the two. Is this a current good build path for Gragas? Because I don't like the Sunfire Cape personally. I don't think it gives enough defensive stats.
Yeah, I don't think he really needed the Sunfire Cape. He's not looking to be, I don't think the Sunfire Cape damage is really that important with where Gragas is going to be. An extra, he's going to get maybe like 150 damage if he's standing near someone throughout a whole team fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that really that useful against a Darius? You're not going to be standing right next to the Caitlyn or Soraka or Syndra. Maybe against the Rengar you'd get a couple ticks of damage. It's not going to be a lot. It's not really worth it.
Well, and Randuin's would just be so much better.
Yeah, and I mean, this Caitlyn is going to be critting hard.
Tidal Wave blown for Italian Dyrus. And none of them land.
Yeah, I mean, the slow against the Darius would be really nice. Having the anti-crit against the Caitlyn, who will have definitely some crit with that build. As we mentioned before, also getting that Blade of the Ruined King, she's going to be able to chunk out targets that have high health, low resistances. So he really needs to get the resistance stats.
There's just like... I see many, many reasons to go Randuins in this game, but I see very few to go Sunfire. Which is hard for me to say as someone who has loved Sunfire.
You know what I really like? I really like going Runic Echoes. I don't think that's bad at all, right?
No.
But I think that he could have just went for an Iceborne Gauntlet or something instead. I mean, the slow definitely would have helped a lot more. It gives good mana, which helps, like Gragas, he has the Runic Echo, so he's not going to have too much mana problems, but in teamfights he could definitely...
Baron already.
Yeah, this is a bit risky, though. On the backside, they're getting collapsed on.
Engage here onto Zeratus. Mr. Rusty FMJ going in onto 1v5 God. 1v5 God possibly going to go down here. Has to flash out. Not Diamond 5 getting knocked into the entire team of TSN, but ends up being Toxic Liberator alone. Didn't land the knockdown. Oh, great apprehend by Italian Dyrus onto Zeratus there. Gets the pullback, but got bubbled at the same time. Oh, it's a 3v1 now at this point. Controlling, trying to come in on the backside. Italian Dyrus missing the Decimate. Flashes over the wall, but gets taken out by Zeratus.
Yeah. Zeratus is like, you're stuck in here with me.
Yeah.
turns it around on Italian Darius. Gets the kill for the Nami. The Nami currently has the second most kills on her team.
She's a very spooky fish.
Yeah. And I mean, that's not ideal though, to be completely truthful about that, because that Orianna needs money too. That Ezreal, he needs to get as big as he can as soon as possible, because he's the linchpin of this team right now. And I really like what the Ezreal has done. He's opted towards skipping the Bork for now and gone for the last Whisper Executioner's Calling. Oh, I love this so much. I can't even express how amazing that is, in my opinion. Okay,
Bringer Ultimate coming out as is...
Oh, the teleport on the backside. Italian Dyrus.
Italian Dyrus getting a one-man apprehend, but a two-man shockwave in response from controlling, and it looks like a three-man stun from Farrell. Face getting incredibly low, and on the sidelines, it looks like FMJ is trying to get in. Going to retreat on the side of Team Bullet, but maybe there's a fight coming back. All the engage tools have been blown for the most part. There's still a flash body slam from FMJ, but it looks like everyone's trying to disengage here. Lot blown for very little.
Yeah. Kind of no kills coming out there. Very just back and forth fight. It was a good attempt, especially with the teleport from Italian Dyrus. An really nice flank ward set up in position for the TP home guard. But they don't get anything for all their efforts. And that is actually Italian Dyrus' TP blown.
Yeah.
So now Toxic Liberator can go into the bot lane and kind of just split push away. And they can't really answer that. So this allows TSN to have map control right now because of that extra TP.
I mean, and Toxic Liberator also has his ultimate. So
yeah, so he
has some map mobility that way.
Yeah. Normally it's not how Sion would get from bot lane to Baron, but if he's in, if there's a fight going on in like the mid lane or something, he could maybe just head up a little bit and just charge right into there.
Oh, Italian Dyrus possibly getting caught out here. Not Diamond 5 putting down the silence field behind him. Try and save him out. Explosive cast coming out, knocking him into 4. But it's not going to matter. Redemption coming out from Not Diamond 5. Italian Dyrus getting healed up a little bit. Sweeping Blade has popped that ultimate. Going to try and go for an engage from the side, but they're all grouped as 5. I don't think that there's going to be anything coming out of it. Sweeping Blade trying to go in on the back line again, but I think he should just abort this mission. And
I mean, look, if they're in a giant cluster of 5, TSN can't really get punished for that because they could theoretically get Syndra QE 5-man stunned, but even if that happens, then what? Italian Dyrus needs that flash to get that close. Yeah, that instantly, there's no real way.
Happened.
Huh?
That even has happened in 1v5. Ooh, one-man shockwave coming out onto Not Diamond 5. Not Diamond 5 having to blow Star Call. Toxic Liberator coming in with the ultimate, as is Rusty FMJ. Rusty FMJ getting incredibly low. Flash out coming from Feral AF. The tower is going to go down here on the red side, but a great 4-man stun from Feral. These stuns are ridiculous. Sweeping Blade having to flash out there after trying to get the bind down. But these fights are just really messy.
Yeah, and Toxic TPing into the bot lane to stop the split push. He's actually half health. This is a bit risky.
Can Italian Dyrus do enough damage though through the range?
Yeah, he can finish off the tower and then he can turn onto the Sion.
All right, well let's see if he can.
Which is what he's gonna be doing.
Out really early. Decimate gonna get the heal there.
Oh no,
Toxic
yeah, that's
had to
Toxic
stop for the Q. But
oh, his team is here though. The cavalry has arrived.
Down, but that's full passive on Italian Dyrus, and the ultimate coming out. The Noxian Guillotine.
Oh my!
Controlling it to go down.
No!
Is Toxic Liberator. Zeratus is left. Toxic Liberator's passive gonna come in, but he's just gonna blow another ultimate.
Oh my!
That
is Darius for you in a nutshell. Oh, see, that's the thing. When Darius gets those 5 bleed stacks, this is what I've been saying all game. The Sion is a target for him to build bleed stacks on. When I'm playing Darius, I am so happy to see the enemy pick a tank jungler or a tank support or a tank top laner. Because Darius against tanks, if you don't have enough peel and safety, the Gragas wasn't there. And he's the primary form of disengage.
What is Italian Dyrus doing right now?
Oh, although the Gragas is here now, and he's kind of low.
It's the full passive stacks. He's going to try and take out Zeratus. It looks like Decimate coming out, getting another heal. Zeratus, he's going to flash in to try and get him, but it's a very, very slippery fish.
Yeah, a little over ambitious there, but his team does pick up the Baron on the back end of that.
So,
and
that's what he was doing there.
He was baiting them away from Baron. It was all planned. He's a master baiter.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now, I mean, this game is definitely in BLT's control. They just picked up a Baron. So many towers are down. All outer turrets, all inner turrets on the side of TSN are now gone. Only one tower has been taken by TSN as well, and a 10,000 gold lead coming out.
So what does TSN do at this point? Can they do
anything? They just have to turtle it out as much as possible with controlling it out of position, though.
Getting caught up by Sweeping Blade's ultimate, gonna pop the shockwave onto one, but that's just a shockwave for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, the shockwave cooldown is about a minute or so. Almost matches the death timer.
Getting stunned up, possibly gonna go down here, but his passive is gonna pop. But Rusty FMJ is in danger here, getting incredibly low, but so is Italian Dyrus. Italian Dyrus goes out. Feckface getting incredibly low from the stun. Sweeping Blade gonna have to run away. Zeratus is really low here, probably gonna be taken out. 1v5 God not gonna take it. Feral is actually gonna steal it from his AD carry. Best of luck next time. And that should be a game.
I mean, Oriana's been 15 seconds. I don't think she's enough to stop it, though. The next death timer is Sion and Gragas shortly following at 20 seconds left now.
And with Soraka...
I mean, it would take a miracle Oriana save, but she used her ulti just before she got caught.
It's like 5 seconds until ult is up, and she's just going to immediately get blown up.
Yeah, That's game one
Yep,
in favor
that's
of
game
BLT.
one in favor of Team Bullet. Played really well. Are they gonna... Unleash Power going down. Come on, Fountain, you can do it. Fountain gets its first kill of the game. Congratulations to the Fountain.
It's the small victories that matter.
Yeah, you know, the Fountain got KP. And you know, that's the important thing in any loss, is that your Fountain helped. So my question is, TSN is now down one game. What could they have done better that they didn't capitalize on? I can think of two things right now. And maybe you can expand on them.
I think it's really just playing around the Darius. They really just let the Darius kind of rampage around enough. They shut him down 3-4 times, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he kind of just got picked off in the jungle a lot. But Italian Darius knows how to play the fights well. Not knowing exactly when to take the fights, so sometimes he did get picked out, yes. But when he does get the fights that he wants, then he will just go crazy. I mean, he puts a Phantom Dancer on Darius.
Yeah.
There's no stopping this man. And once this Darius gets rolling, I mean, 5 bleed stacks, if you can't keep him away out of his Q or auto or apprehend range, you are basically a dead man. Because he will do 1,000 true damage, basically, with his ultimate.
Yep, and just...
I mean, we saw him 2-shot Ezreal, right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
One last comment. For me, I think that TSN should work on playing around their items and itemizing more properly, I guess I would say.
I feel like Feckface itemized perfectly that game.
He did. I was mostly talking about FMJ's itemization, which sort of gimped his early game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
As well as the fact that when they were pushing mid, Feckface had 704 stacks on his Muramana. When it transformed into a Mana Moon, they stopped pushing. That is a huge power spike, and they stopped pushing after they hit it. What should happen is you start pushing then. So maybe next time, if they have a similarly large item breakpoint, they should play around that instead of just kind of ignoring it.
Yeah.
But, you know, we'll see if they can bring it back in Game 2. We're going to go back into the lobby and reset everything up. Enjoy the music during the break. We'll see you soon. All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to Game 2 of the EU Show Matches Week 2 between Team Solo Nut on the red team and Team Bullet on the blue. We just had a great game. Gonna have another one coming out here. Jana ban again. Hopefully this time no bans are forgotten. I'm Niberia. I'm joined still by Epic Death Guy. How you doing?
I am doing moderately okay. After that last game was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah,
Pretty satisfied with that.
it was pretty exciting. There were a few high points.
Yeah. Also, no Darius ban yet. Not sure about that.
Little bit of a question mark. Just a slight punctuation error.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, we are allowing response bans. So you cannot ban depending on what the person plays by looking them up. But in the second game, you can see, okay, they played that last game. We didn't like that. We're gonna ban it this game. Now, Darius still isn't banned. It's the last ban. They have one more chance to take it.
Maybe they have a response to it.
Maybe they're not gonna pick the Scion, or maybe they didn't ban the Darius.
Vance Rocket
Okay.
said that.
The Italian Darius is instantly hovering it.
Yeah.
I
don't
don't
know.
know about that. I mean, toxic. Oh, Ooh.
Oh man.
What?
From one extreme to another.
Italian? Hello?
And he's got to know he's going against Scion at this point.
Yeah, and I don't like this matchup for GP. I mean, it's not bad at all, but it's so much less stompy than Darius versus Scion.
But dude, he's got to get those sick outplays in the late game.
My gosh.
But Hecarim, though, the question. But is he good? Like, I haven't seen him in forever, so I'm kind of...
He's still a good jungler in non-competitive play. So in a sorry, I should say non-pro play. In competitive 5v5s of lower elos, Hecarim is still a very good pick, and he's still very good in solo queue. So I think it's a good pick. He's very reliable. Similar to a Mumu, very binary. Hecarim has some more hard engage though.
Mm-hmm.
And he can definitely gank earlier on.
Well, there we go. Early game focus. Kha'Zix similarly.
I don't think that the
decent
Teemo is going to come out this game. If I'm being real,
should,
I don't think Feckface is. I mean, against Orianna GP, you can't really blind that.
No, but you can meme, and that truly is the mark of a champion. Orianna coming out into Vladimir.
Oh my no.
Ooh.
No.
Oh yeah, baby.
I mean,
Draven coming out.
yeah. Thing is, he's really squishy. And now, Fairlaf actually took the Orianna this game, which forced controlling to play something else, which will be the Vladimir. I think Vladimir is a very solid pick. The only problem with the composition of TSN right now is that they are very they don't have as much hard engage. I mean, they have Hecarim instead. They have Hecarim, Scion instead of what was it last game? Scion, Orianna, Gragas. I mean,
yeah.
Arguably Hecarim has better engage than Gragas, but missing out on the Orianna engage definitely will hurt their team fighting a bit. But Vladimir can go crazy. I mean, I love Vladimir. I mained him like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
It was great.
Vladimir to me though seems like a pretty good counter into Orianna because you can just pull the shockwave, right?
Yeah, and I mean,
not that that's the entire
type.
matchup there, but
So okay, while we were talking about that, Jinx Zillion came out as well as the Morgana pick from Zordas. Now that's Zordas's main. He mains Morgana, and against that team, having the Black Shield on Draven means he can't get CC'd anymore. Which means he can kind of just run by the Zillion, run by, a Shockwave, just run through everything with his Blood
run
Rush.
straight down mid.
I don't think he's going to want to run there, but
we'll never know.
It's his choice when he's got a Black Shield.
Yeah, it's got a bit more freedom of movement than usual.
The other thing is, the Jinx Zillion. Now, this Jinx will basically be running at 5,000 miles per hour even before she has her passive. Which, so both ADCs are going to be zooming across the map at Mach 10, and Draven will be able. Everyone on the side of BLT is squishy, but then they drafted the Zillion, so now anyone who's getting bursted will get a revive, which is, I think it's a really good adaptation to this super squishy comp. So they have a 4-threat comp.
And they also have so much damage from it. Because
Yeah.
Kha'Zix with the isolated Taste Their Fear, billion damage. Gangplank with a crit barrel, billion damage. Jinx with literally anything late game, billion.
A billion damage.
Orianna, like 500 million damage. Until late game, then billion damage. Zillion doesn't do a whole lot, but he stops a billion damage. So, it
I mean,
sort of
he can
balances
get a juicy 5-man stun.
Yeah,
but
get
the thing
get the double
is,
bomb on 5.
when you get an Orianna Shockwave into a Scion Hecarim, both tanky, and then Vladimir, who's also fairly tanky for a mid laner, one of the tankiest mid laners, I would say. Then Vladimir can also W, and I mean, Draven has the Morgana to provide him with the Black Shield, and the Morgana will probably get a Locket Redemption or a Zanya's, so even more survivability. How are you going to get those kills for Kha'Zix and Jinx to reset?
Well, I mean, alternatively, if you get a Shockwave into a double bomb, we'll just ignore the double bomb part because that's incredibly unlikely. But
Actually, it's not that unlikely.
all right, then it's likely. It makes the point stronger.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
You have the Gangplank burst from the barrels, and then you could maybe get a Gangplank ultimate as well to slow. You have the damage from the Zillion, and then you have Jinx rockets. If you crit a rocket in the middle of 5 people...
With Runons, don't forget the Runons.
Yeah, that's a ton of damage. Again, a billion damage. So you're gonna...
That's infinite damage.
Yeah, you kind of have to play around that, I guess, but on the other hand, to your point, if that doesn't happen, how do they win these fights?
Yeah, and I mean, if they don't kill immediately, Vlad will kind of just keep sustaining and just keep on chunking people out, just Crimson rushing everywhere, and this is going to be really dependent on. I mean, I feel this game is going to be dependent on who gets the momentum earlier on. So if Vlad gets big early or Draven gets big early, then TSN has a very, very big threat, right?
Yep.
Which could possibly just dismantle BLT single-handedly. But BLT, if 2 of their lanes get ahead, 2 champions, it doesn't matter who really. It could be mid or ADC, top or mid, top ADC, whatever. I think it only takes 2 people to really just go crazy. Because their team is kind of just all or nothing, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going into game here. We'll be back in a second. Enjoy the rest of the Star Guardians music, or probably not all of it. I don't think we'll get all of it in time, but you know what? Enjoy what's left. Alright guys, I tried. I tried so hard to let you listen to the rest of it, but you know what? We'll do that after the stream. In the meantime, welcome back to Game 2 of the EU Show Matches Week 2 for Learning 5s between Team Solo Nut and Team Bullet. I'm Nibiria. I'm joined still by Epic Death Guy. We didn't do a fast switch on you in between the loading screens. EDG, how you doing today? Well,
Debated. I'm actually can opener, dude. He's no.
The first
I don't
was
think
right.
he could be here this week. Sadly,
Yeah.
he didn't cast any games, so
He was out of town or something.
yeah.
Oh no. Oh dear. Oh no.
Oh,
Alright,
the bind.
That's the first blood. I wasn't sure what to say there. I was like,
What?
this is just bad. This is no.
And it goes into Vladimir, who started Dark Seal.
Oh no.
I think that's possibly the worst case scenario.
Alright, let's run through the other scenarios. Draven gets
It goes
a
to
second
Draven.
longsword.
That's probably also really bad if Draven gets a kill, because Draven gets an extra 50 gold from it.
So that's another.
I mean-
that'd be just another longsword though, and 2 more potions.
Yeah, but I mean, well,
That is big though.
he gets 450 gold then, right? He could go for like a Doran's Blade,
Yeah, that's true.
which I think would be better. Would it not? Because he already has 3 pots. He doesn't need 5 pots. That's overkill.
I mean, yes, it is overkill, but it'd be hilarious to just be able to face tank entire trades.
I can't.
Like, Tossing
What was
axe.
that?
I don't know. I don't know what Draven laughs like. I don't play Draven. Because he's too hard.
Isn't it more like that?
Probably. That seems to be the riot.
What you
official
said
laugh.
was just kind of like a man like getting his face mauled off. Oh god, it was everyone against that Darius last game. Speaking of which, opting for the gangplank. I already getting first blooded. I don't know how I'm feeling
it's the
about this so
strat.
far.
Alright, listen. Here's the strategy from minute 1. You give
Okay.
them the false confidence by running down mid alone by yourself into 5. And then you don't
Okay.
blow anything. So that they know
Okay.
that they killed you,
Mm-hmm.
but that you're still in it. And then, with their expectations lowered thusly, you come back and carry the game.
Amazing.
So part 1 has already been executed upon. We're just
I
waiting
mean-
for part 2 to 3.
I just want to talk about that a little bit. He's getting kind of bullied around right now by Toxic, and with an Orianna who can speed up the Darius, and a Zillion who can also speed up the Darius, I really think that Darius would have been a perfectly fine pick here.
Yeah.
I mean, this game they have the Orianna to set up with a lot of CC. They have Zillion CC. And, I mean, this is definitely a Darius-able game. The only downside is that they do have a Morgana on the side of TSN. But really, that could just be... that's just one thing. I mean, he could, if he played like he did last game, he could get QSS on Darius. It would be perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
he went PD.
yeah, he has enough. If he got as fed as he did last game, he'd have enough gold for that.
I mean, on one
And-
hand, relying on that is probably, not the healthiest way to plot out a game, but I do feel like the Darius would be easier to execute upon, just because you have that easy front line. Ooh, Toxic Liberator getting caught here in the bush. Italian Dire is going to drop a Q, it looks like. Mr. Rusty FMJ coming in onto Sweeping Blade. Sweeping Blade getting incredibly low. Going to have to flash out here. Rusty FMJ going to try and get the kill here. The heal from Sweeping Blade from the Void Spikes going to be enough to save him. It looks like
Oh, wait, he's
Italian Dire is
walking-
incredibly
oh.
low. Orange is popped. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He's facing his non-citrusy demise. Flashing out to save himself just in time.
Yeah, but he's still there, and he's very low, and that Hecarim really wants to just charge him. Oh no.
Oh, and it looks like he's going to. Oh boy, Italian Dire is getting hit up. Oh, Rusty FMJ.
He's
getting
taking mini
really
aggro,
low.
though.
Toxic Liberator getting really low.
No!
Is this going to be the double? Oh no, it was an execute.
It's an execute.
There is no. Smack it, kill it, run.
Oh my.
Alright, that was...
I was thinking, okay, this is fine. Toxic Liberator is gonna take the aggro. Mr. Rusty is gonna
Oh,
he's gonna
controlling.
devastating charge him into the wall. And that's gonna be dead Italian Dyrus.
Uh-oh, 1v5 god, getting engaged on, has to blow, heal, zap coming out, Feck Face possibly gonna go down? No, great heal.
The heal. Yeah. Yeah, and Mr. Rusty was stuck taking mini damage after tanking the tower. You can't tank the tower if you're that low.
Yeah,
Because you'll die to... I mean, he should have known. Damage foresight? Okay, one tower shot plus GPQ will probably almost kill me or kill me. And then, like, I'll have to walk into minions.
Getting engaged on, almost stun going down. 1v5 guy getting incredibly low here. Feckface is going to go down as well. Sweeping Blade got the 1 kill, but can he get the second? I don't think he'll be able to. Void Spike's not up just yet, and Rusty FMJ coming in for a counter gank. Sweeping Blade going to have to get out of here. Rusty FMJ doesn't have the move speed, because Hecarim at early levels really is unimpressive in terms of just, like, running at you.
And look how much mana he has. He's going really quickly. He needs that refillable potion to sustain in his jungle, or else he's just going to be every time he wants to gank. I mean, Hecarim's mana pool and mana costs are just insanely high. His mana pool is insanely low. Mana costs insanely high.
It's
equals
like
mana hungry jungler
because of his Q.
Yeah, and I feel that Hecarim almost always gets refillable potion, or at least he should, because it just makes it so he can just clear freely and he can just gank freely whenever he wants. And I mean, I'm fairly certain that most junglers that play Hecarim at a higher level do build a refillable potion.
Well, you need 250 to upgrade from the refill to hunters, right?
Yeah, and you should almost always go refillable potion when playing most junglers. There might be a few junglers who don't. I know, like, Warwick used to go rejuve bead or something, right? Machete rejuve bead?
Those were the days. Shaco did it too.
Yeah, I don't know what Warwick does right now. It doesn't? Really?
Warwick might. I know Shaco.
Yeah, I'm thinking Warwick might, but I'm pretty sure Shaco doesn't do that anymore at all.
No, that was a very, very cheesy time, and it was glorious. But
yeah, Warwick still do that. So, or at least some of them do.
Enough reminiscing. Let's talk about the
Those
state
days
of
are
the
gone.
top lane. Because what happened? Look at this
Yeah, well,
CS lead. He's double his opponent's CS. Italian Dyrus went from almost dead to double CS. Oh, Toxic Liberator's gonna die here.
Yeah, this is just... After that misplay early on, this just shifted completely into Dyrus's favor. I mean...
I guess we see why he picked it now.
Yeah, but...
It worked out so far.
It was so risky because he almost lost. And if he died there and Toxic got that kill, or even if Rusty got that kill and they both lived, he would have lost so much CS. He would have been down a kill or assist against his laner. He probably would have been done so because Sion would have gotten an armor item, probably some health too. And now look at this. Sion is just barely scraping out some items. She's heading towards the bot lane though with that unstoppable onslaught.
Going on to Rusty FMJ, controlling, gonna pop that Hemo Plague. Superblade gonna have to get out with his ultimate.
Watch the bot lane right now.
Yep. Oh, 1v5 God gonna have to flash away from a great binding. Toxic Liberator coming in and missing the onslaught. Unfortunate.
Yeah, a little far away when he did it. He should have, like, he did it when he was still behind the bottom trait, and now blowing TP to the top lane. He's in a really risky spot right now. He has no TP, no ulti, no flash. This GP is just gonna do whatever he wants, and
that's what it's all about, you know, because he's a pirate, and a pirate is free. So, you know, he's living the life right now. But
Italian Dyrus is master emoting so much.
Oh yeah,
you almost don't want him to win because of how cocky he's playing. You know what he's thinking. He's just going, "I'm the best. I'm so great. Haha. I'm GP."
I mean, it's working though.
But he does it, yeah, and he's getting away with it.
I can't.
You can't complain about it.
I'd be doing the same thing. If I had mastery on anything, it's Shaco and Ezreal all the way down. That's it. That's all I know how to play.
Oh, this is really an odd spot. The Vladimir does pick up the Hextech Revolver.
Great Phantom Barrel from Italian Dyrus.
The GP
ultimate coming out. Sweeping Blade coming in to try and kill Feckface. Feckface heals out. Super Mega Death Rocket going to go a little bit wide. The ultimate from Zerata is going to land on Sweeping Blade and get the bind. But it doesn't.
That was well played by the bot lane of TSN.
Yeah.
They escaped that well. I honestly thought they were gone.
They should have been, I think.
Yeah.
Rusty taking a lot of damage from just a single barrel Q. Yeah, Italian Dyrus doing a little bit of the dirty work right now.
Yeah, Right now, bot lane of TSN and mid lane are slightly ahead. Or the mid lane's pretty even actually, but bot lane is definitely in favor of TSN. But in the top lane, it's definitely in favor of BLT.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got these two gold stealing, you know, gladiators and pirates.
Oh. Not Diamond
And
5 is screwed, and so is
oh,
Sweeping
Sweeping
Blade.
got his
Sweeping Blade got autoed for the kill from Morgana. Not Diamond
No,
5
he-
almost dying to the Hemoplague. Rusty FMJ coming in. The Flame Chomper is going to be enough to stop his approach.
that was so unlucky. I think Zeratus didn't even know Sweeping was there. He used his W, I think, just to get damage onto not
jeez.
Diamond 5.
The flash in
Oh.
from Italian Dyrus using the true damage passive. Can he get the last Q? He does.
This is turning very quickly into a very special game,
That's,
for lack of a better
yeah.
word.
That's a good word for it. And funnily enough, this is the thing I don't get. TSN has a gold lead right now.
Yeah.
Through all this, I
that's-
assume it's entirely because Draven passive. but-
Yeah, Draven is over 1,000 gold up on Jinx right now. 4,000 to 2,900.
A little bit of
Oh,
difference.
42,000
Just a team.
to be exact. 4.2. Sorry, 4.2.
Yeah, you just
It's-
straight up has a BF sword on her.
Yeah, it's a big difference. Now, I don't know how I feel about the Bork Draven, to be completely honest. Draven doesn't really on-hit as much as the, Caitlyn would. I mean, I don't know. Damage
most of
buff
his
on
damage
Bork
does
made
come
it so
from
much more
Goddess,
viable on
but-
everyone else. Actually, I think it's fine, actually. I think
I'm
it's
sure
fine.
it is.
Yeah, I think it's actually not bad at all.
It seems like it's just such a good item now that
Yeah,
I can
with the
almost-
damage buffs to it, it made it a viable item for people who have AD scalings. So Varus actually likes it. Jinx can utilize it well. I mean, Jinx already could utilize old Bork well, but
Oh jeez, controlling
new
a
Bork
lot
is
of
just that
poke.
much better.
So is Toxic Liberator. Toxic getting really low here. Possibly going to go down in a tower. The barrel coming out for the attempted barrel combo.
Oh no, he's
Ooh,
getting
not gonna
zoned
go
off.
for it, but Sweeping Blade coming in with the Q. Gets the kill, but is he going to get out away from that Scion passive? Italian Dias trying to body block, and it
I
looks
think-
like it actually worked.
I think Toxic could have just did the Q sooner on Sweeping Blade, and I don't think he needed the stun. I think the
Zerata's going in with the
slow. Oh
ultimate.
my
Flame
gosh.
Choppers are going down, going to catch Feckface there, but not Diamond 5 is going to res into a binding possibly. Ultimate from GP coming out.
Yeah.
My brain froze. I
Um,
almost called him Tobias Fate.
Isn't every GP Tobias Fate?
Pretty much. They're just all Smurfs.
They're all Tobias Fate.
We are all Tobias Fate on this blessed day. As
Tobias
Hemoplague goes
Fate
down
is-
on the Feral Laugh. Feral's gonna go
The
down here.
shockwave!
Almost early. The shockwave. Oh no. That was unfortunate.
That was
He
unfortunate.
survives, but
Yeah, I
shockwave.
think he thought that the ball was going to snap back to him because it was about to. He just needed
Yeah.
to walk another half a second and the ball would have snapped to him.
I've done that more times than I'd like to admit, but it never gets less sad.
Honestly, I think if he would have hit that shockwave, it would have pulled Vladimir closer and he would have died.
It's possible. That was a really close trade. I mean,
No, it would have if it hit, the Vladimir would have been dragged closer to her. It would have just hit the Vladimir on the outskirts of the ultimate. Vladimir would have been brought closer. He would have been CC'd for a second, yes, but he's not going to die from it. He's closer to you now. He has abilities. He has damage. You're dead.
but would he still go
So-
for it after eating the shockwave damage?
Yeah, he would have been definitely healthy enough. So I think it was a blessing in disguise that Fairy Left missed it.
Yeah, it's possible. The Proto Belt build coming out for Vladimir. I love
Yeah,
that.
that's what the revolver was building into. The revolver allows Vladimir to have stronger early trades, and now with the proto belts, it allows him to just move around like crazy. Extra mobility is great
These
for
dark
Vladimir.
bindings from Morgana are crazy. Not Diamond
Oh.
5 possibly going down here. Feckface is going to get caught out here by Sweeping Blade, but Sweeping Blade has been exhausted. Void Assault going to be enough to get the slow, but will it be enough to get the kill? Super Mega Death Rocket going out, and Feckface barely gets away. Out of
Yeah.
mana, out of health, but not entirely.
And Zillion did have the ultimate, the Chrono Shift. I am confused as to why it wasn't used there. It was
Maybe he
up. I was
trying to save
watching.
it for 1v5 God. He thought they'd change targets.
I don't know. And also,
Uh-oh.
I have the Oasis coming out.
Rusty coming in for a
oh.
gank here. Italian
Okay.
Dyrus getting a little bit low. Going to use the passive move speed from killing a barrel to save himself. Controlling was roaming up there, as was Feral, so...
Yeah.
Ooh, little scrap
Dyrus,
in the river.
Italian Dyrus playing safe. But yeah, I'm kind of questioning the Zillion build. I don't really like the Eye of the Oasis. I mean, it's not the worst choice. It's not like bad, but it's
I feel like Frost Queens would have been better,
I
wouldn't it?
like I have the Watchers better. You get AP. Zillion likes AP because he has Q plus I think E skills off AP as well. Yeah, I think it has an AP scaler on it. I might be mistaken on that. It doesn't. I was mistaken, but he has an AP scaler on his ulti too, which is the big thing. That's the biggest reason why you pick him
Mm-hmm.
for the res, and a res, coming back with an extra 100 HP is pretty nice. So
Oh, not Diamond 5 getting caught out there. Oh, Hemoplague going down as his Proto Belt, but it looks like not Diamond 5 barely going to survive there. That was
yeah,
that was an interesting barrel chain. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It was like a V shape.
yeah. Also, I think that this game he could have gone with a talisman or something, or maybe not even upgraded it or worried about it. He could have maybe gone Ruby Sightstone into like Redemption, Locket, then Talisman. He could have went for like full active item Zillion, which I think would be good.
Yeah.
And then like that would also give his team extra like tankiness and peel and survivability that they desperately need.
Well, I'm partial to the Frost Queens there because you would get, if not a reliable hard engage, at least some other way to get on them than other than hoping that Kha'Zix is in the right position or hoping that they step on a ball. Again, there's not that like super easy go button.
I mean, I think that the talisman would do that better.
Yeah.
So I think if you wanted that, I think his options were Eye of the Watchers, or Talisman Ruby Sightstone.
Oh, Super Blade coming in for another gank, but this time FMJ is ready. And not Diamond 5 going to get knocked back there, but not a whole lot going to happen. Also, Sweeping Blade, not doing a whole lot, but Feral is. I was hoping like the Void Spikes were going to kill him. Would have been great.
Yeah, well,
Second
alright,
dragon
enough
going
about
over.
Zillion builds. Let's take a look at everything else going on. GP has picked up a Triforce. He's getting some lethality, going for that Yomu's, it looks like.
Oh, teleport coming in from Italian or no, not Italian Dyrus, Toxic Liberator.
Oh
Let's see FMJ
my.
going to go down here. Hemoplague going down onto one. Sweeping Blade probably going to die here. Chrono Shift enough to save him. Toxic Liberator is incredibly tanky though, as is controlling. Feck Fakes is being left
The
alone.
3-man
But a
Zillion
great
stun.
And here's exactly what we were talking about in Champion Select here. The AoE from Jinx is going to be enough. A flash over from Italian Dyrus.
Into the zap.
Gets it. Oh man.
What was that fight?
It was great for one team and terrible for another one. We know that much. Oh, the Captain Jack Orange is there from Italian Dyrus.
Yeah, that was just not Diamond 5, hit a beautiful 3-man Zillion stun just out of nowhere.
Yeah, and then 1v5 very quickly picking up on that and saying, oh, rockets, right, yes.
And yeah, once that Jinx gets excited, she can just run everywhere she wants. I mean, they don't have that much hard CC that can hit her. They have a Scion Q, which needs to be charged up, and a Morgana Q, which she can dodge with 20,000 movement speed.
Right. And even if she can't dodge it, I'm assuming at some point she'd want a QSS.
Yeah. Now,
So,
I'm looking, I only see the Morellos as a source of grievous wounds, and if Vladimir isn't dropped below that half HP point that Morellos requires, well, it's actually 35%, so it's even lower than that.
yeah.
So he needs to be dropped fairly low. I think that grievous wounds would be a smart pickup, as well as Orianna hitting an ability on Vladimir isn't going to happen constantly. So I think the GP or the Jinx want to pick it up. Either one. I don't really... Maybe the Jinx would be better. No. Maybe GP. I don't know. I'm indifferent. Either of them pick it up. That would be good.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, they haven't been having much problem getting the Vladimir low. But to your point, he's only going to get tankier from this point onward, assuming that he goes for like a Rylai's sort of Spirit Visage build. I don't know if Vladimir builds more AP heavy than when his rework first came out. But, the flash from Toxic Liberator, but the Ghost Blade from Italian Dyrus, barely missing that barrel chain, but Toxic just can't farm. He's just not allowed.
Yeah, he's down 70 CS already.
Yep.
And I feel like that difference is just gonna like get larger, if not just stay like that, because GP is far. Oh, not Diamond 5 was getting a little bit aggressive there with his giving his passive right in front of the enemy team.
That was a
I don't know if
hilarious
that-
accidental juke, though.
Yeah, he just stops moving,
Yeah.
starts just giving experience
Oh,
to
he's
the
spelling?
Kazakhs, and the bind.
Not getting caught up.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's gonna
Rusty
stop that
FMJ
engagement.
coming in, but GP ult there to defend. Sweeping Blade coming in, has Void Assault active, so he's going to get a slow, and his first auto, Rusty FMJ, is going to be the recipient of it. Super Mega Death Rocket coming out, Rusty FMJ getting incredibly low. Void Assault, Void Spikes missed.
Yeah, I think everyone wasn't on the same page there for that turnaround. I really like what BLT was going for there, but they just didn't execute it properly.
Right. Ooh, Zeratus.
But, ooh, Shockwave into the solo target with the black shield on.
It still almost killed him.
Yeah, but
Ooh, Sweeping Blade
it
coming in.
didn't. Oh,
Really aggressive leap. Oh, Italian Dyrus walking up, controlling, immediately gets
Those
blown up.
barrels.
Zeratus incredibly low. If they can get another kill,
if she can get a
Jinx is
reset.
gonna-
Oh.
Jinx
You
is
know,
gonna keep getting
I
reset.
actually would have liked to see 1v5 God flash in there. Flash in for the rocket Q onto Zeratus. That's a kill, and then she can just auto away at Feckface. Even
Yeah.
if she doesn't kill Feckface, it's a flash for a kill. Perfectly fine. She had the Zillion revive. I don't think it was too aggressive. I actually think that would be...
You know, it's
Fair
insurance
left.
policy.
Yeah. Zillion making sure he doesn't have to worry about his teammates. But I think that 1v5 Dot definitely could have played that more aggressively. I don't think he was in the wrong for wanting to save it. I mean, Jinx doesn't have any mobility pre getting a kill, and then that's just
Right.
movement speed. So having the flash is a really good safety tool. Maybe she just wants to save it purely for defense. I can respect that. But I feel that if they got a few more kills there, they could have pressured for maybe like an inhib tower, or maybe even like gotten Baron control and like forced something there like soon afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've been
possible
very-
opportunity missed, but also a safe play. So
Yeah.
not a clear wrong decision at all.
I have a very strange question about
Okay.
Jinx, but it sort of ties into wrong decisions, like Italian Dyrus still being in the top lane. As this fight begins, Italian Dyrus is doing incredible amounts of damage. The ultimate going down. Orange is going to be enough. Sweeping Blade coming in to try and defend him. Toxic Liberator walked into the wrong
Oh
neighborhood
my
right now.
gosh.
Italian Dyrus going to take him out, but has to run away. Sweeping Blade might go down to the passive of Toxic Liberator. Leaps out, but Toxic Liberator is chasing after him. Can you get him, Spooky Man? Nope. He can't.
What is this game playing?
He's a god.
What is Italian Dyrus? What is he on? Oh,
Oh, jeez.
the Draven ulti, the whirling death, almost bringing that death to Kazakhs.
He's on a
but-
diet of rum and scurvy medication.
Sweeping blade, dodging the sweeping blades.
Uh-oh. 1v5 guy getting caught up by the Hemoplague there, immediately blown up. Controlling going in onto Not Diamond 5. Not Diamond 5 going to be able to get out, hopefully with that speed up.
You know, he's a 1v5 god, not a 1v3 god. So
Yeah, that's true.
That wasn't his job.
It's just a numbers game at that point.
Yeah, if there was 2 more people there, he would have won that, hands down.
Oh. Oh, fighting over the Raptors. I like it. Good barrel chain there onto Zeratus. Italian Dyrus flashing in with the auto. Oh my goodness. That was, is that worth it? Like,
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
like it was cool, but I don't know if it matters if it's worth it because they're so far ahead. You know, they have a 7K gold lead at this point. They're
they
up
have
3
they have an
dragons.
ocean Earth Drake. Doesn't matter.
They're up 5
They're-
towers.
What's the next dragon? An Earth again. All right, Earth Drake again. That's actually really good for them.
Yeah, they're just
That'll allow them to Jinx can just melt towers like 3 seconds done.
yeah, and Baron too.
Yeah, and I mean that's a real threat. Think about this: GP damage on Baron plus Kazakhs, great isolated damage against Baron, plus Jinx, which is so much just single target damage with her minigun. They will melt that Baron in just a few seconds, or like just 10 seconds or so. I mean, and then it's gone.
And it might even get shorter, you know, as the game drags on, depending on how these builds develop. if there's more damage coming out from the Kazakhs, you know, the isolated Q is just going to get so strong.
Oh my.
Oh, Sweeping Blade getting caught with the Dark Binding, and this is the key to the team fight. Chrono Shift going to go down on him, which means Not Diamond 5 doesn't have it for himself. Sweeping Blade did survive. Oh, a great knockup from Toxic Liberator, Italian Dirus. A 3-man Shockwave coming out from Feral AF.
But the Jinx is going crazy.
Oh, Jinx is going crazy.
If she can live.
Liberator is going down. She lives so far. Feral is not going to, but at this point, can 1v5 take out Feck? I don't know.
Oh my god, Feral, what are you doing? Feral, you god!
What happened? What the hell?
Did you see it?
No, I missed it. Hold on.
I straight up replay it on stream. I'm not even, like, after this ends, replay it on stream.
Right now.
I replay it right now. Go back.
Watch it. Oh, wait, hold on. I missed the juke. Alright. And then we can jump ahead, because, you know what? EDG can keep us updated on the current state of the game. While I'm watching
they're taking top, inner tower.
Escaping from the passive. Zeratus flashes after. Feral juking. Oh! Kills her just before the ultimate comes out. Jeez.
Yeah. All right, go back to live now.
Yeah,
they're sieging down top inhib tower. It looks like it's gonna fall. People are respawning, so they're not gonna go for the inhibitor. But that outplay by Feralaf was so amazing. I mean, it just looked so good.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
Whew.
That was a doozy of a play.
Metal balls in this game. We'll just put it that way.
Oh my.
Oh, Rusty FMJ going in onto Not Diamond 5. Looks like thinks better of it though. So, all right. I don't know if TSM can win at this point, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt because we never.
I mean, they almost had it there. If they just killed 1v5 God, that fight would have been in their favor.
So can they do that again, or is it too late now?
I don't think they're gonna have it. Mr. Rusty just walking up, taking the blue buff from Italian Dirus. Nice, but onto what you asked. I don't know, because that was like almost the perfect conditions what they needed. Like the Zillion wasted ulti onto the Kazakhs, who then died to the Draven ulti. I mean, that was like best case scenario, I think, and they just didn't get it.
Hemoplague here. Hold on. Controlling, gonna try and kill him. Hemoplague has already popped. Sweeping Blade is invisible right now. Gets out barely with the flash.
Yeah. Controlling, not getting the
Oh, this is really bad.
The Crimson okay. That's yep.
Italian Dirus gonna try and kill Toxic Liberator here. Is that a shockwave? Yep, it was a shockwave indeed. Toxic Liberator running away, screaming "Cowards!" in the opposite direction, as is tradition.
Anyone says who Sion doesn't have escape.
You just saw it. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Your strategic uses of that ultimate have now been doubled. Bam.
He can go in and out.
It's beautiful, and if you want to get really technical, he can go from side to side as well. But that's a little too advanced.
Yeah, I don't know how useful that will be. But
they don't even use that one in
inhib.
the LCS. I mean, they don't even use Sion on the LCS.
I don't think they really do that.
You know, you never know. Yeah, that's the one thing that I kind of miss about the bug where you could hit hold a bunch.
Oh, where he just like turn like
just,
really
do
fast,
straight 90-degree turns.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I wish Sion had a little more control of his ulti, to be honest, because I love seeing a Sion drift, and that if anyone has played Sion and tried it, the turning on his ulti is so rough.
Yeah.
Most Sions just ult when there's a straight line and there's a fight going on.
Yeah, but not a whole lot's happening just yet. Sweeping Blade getting a little bit of return damage from Rusty, and it looks like Exhaust went out.
Oh, Toxic is so low.
Alright, let's see. Is there going to be a scrap? I think it's just straight up siege here until they see an opportunity for the Baron. Both side lanes are pushing for Team Bullet, so they're going to get an opportunity to turn onto either the Baron or the Elder Drake in a few minutes. No, it won't be an Elder. It'll be the other mountain in about 35 seconds.
Alright, now, for any aspiring Zillion players, remember that Double Bomb is his bread and butter for CCing people, so you're going to want to Q and then, like, instantly WQ again. Just roll your fingers, basically, just QWQ. Like, such a fast combo. And Not Diamond 5 has been doing that, like, pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, there's some cast time to it, I believe. I don't remember the exact amount, but
it's not terribly
like,
long.
if you just roll your fingers like that, like just roll your hand a little bit, like you can cast it like instantly, and like honestly, it isn't like 100% guaranteed because someone can like take the first bomb and walk out of range just barely while you're casting it. But oh, they're setting up for the Earthstrike, but Earthstrike for a Baron isn't really ideal, and Italian Darius gonna steal. Oh, he used Sparrows already.
He did.
Don't think he's gonna go for it anymore.
To scare them off.
Maybe
And he's gonna use it now.
he has his ultimate to scare them off. All right.
Perfect. It's prediction skills, everyone. If the ultimate is...
Oh my... No!
No!
Wait for your team, Darius! Wait for your team!
No.
I can hear messages in all chat. I'm not even reading them, but I know that Mr. Rusty enjoyed that.
Yeah, this is... Oh. Oh boy. Mr. Rusty in his mind just won the game.
Yeah, like, it doesn't even matter what happens from this point on. He got the steal, game's won.
That is, better than any other...
That is a personal victory. When you just walk up and just take it.
Oh,
but maybe he's
looking coming out from Rusty, but I don't think it's going to matter. Sweeping Blade. Oh, but 1v5 God is the one who got hit with the binding, but a great 3-man shockwave in response. Zerata's going in with the ultimate. Chrono Shift has been used on Fairlap, and in the backline, it looks like Sweeping Blade went down. Toxic Liberator is going to be the next target for this team. One bomb going out. Can we make it two? One bomb going down. Can I get another one? Can I get another one? Nope, but I can get a barrel. And Italian Gyre is flashing in with a Q, forcing the flash of Toxic Liberator, and that's going to force the entire team off of this inhibitor turret.
Yeah, and Italian Dyrus, look at his build. GA Phantom Dancer Sterix. He's tanky. I was complaining about not having a tank. Italian Dyrus, he heard and he has answered my prayers. I mean... Italian Dyrus giveth, Italian Dyrus taketh. He giveth the Earthstrike, but he taketh a
many
tank
hits
build
without dying.
Yeah, I mean, he's so tanky. The Phantom Dancer makes him take less damage from his target. He has a Sterix gauge in case he's getting blown up by the Draven and Vladimir, and then GA just in case all else fails. I mean, he has one death so far, and I realistically don't see him getting a second unless he's just caught out.
Yeah. But what are they going to do here? I'm assuming they're going to try to push bot. Do they push the side lanes first, though? For Team Bullet?
I mean,
like,
the minions are going to push those lanes, yeah. The top inhibitor is respawning, so they could send GP up there to just kind of shove it out. With the teleport, he can just ulti and then TP in, so his ulti will buy his team time until he gets there, he's in there, and then Dunzo.
Doesn't look like that's what they're going for, and I'm not sure what they're trying to organize here. Maybe
this top inhib is a few seconds off respawning, so there's no more super minions. The next wave doesn't have any super minions in it. Yeah, the way that inhibitors work is that they stop the minion spawning before the inhibitor spawns, and
Shockwave blown. Zerata's getting low but not dead. Oops, Super Mega.
Oh my god, Super Mega Death Rocket. No!
Wide.
Oh my god. Did you see that? Were you watching how close that was?
No, I was on directed camera. It wasn't showing it to me.
Oh my.
Was it another pixel perfect play?
Oh yes.
We're gonna need to invent a replay system for the LoL spectator. Oh, Hemoplague going out. A 1v1 between the jungler and the mid laner coming out, but Sweepy Blade does so much burst. Controlling can't heal.
I think that was actually a little bit misplayed by Controlling. He W'd instead of Qing there, or he E'd instead of Qing after the W.
Oh, Onslaught of Shadows coming on onto Sweeping Blade. Sweeping Blade getting really low, but Chrono Shift has gone down. Rusty FMJ is going to be the first one to die here. Toxic Liberator coming in with the ultimate. Not Diamond 5 getting knocked up, as well as Sweeping Blade coming in on the backline. 1v5 God getting taken out.
Oh, Feckface is going crazy though.
Also going down. Feckface did his best. He got a double kill, but it's not going to be enough. And at this point, it looks like that's going to be the game. A 3-for-4 trade. But that's enough when you're left with the mid and the top laner versus the support. Oh, a great sombrero flash.
Some flare on top.
Yeah, just a little bit, you know. He's like, this time I know where it is. It's on my head.
Wow, what a dominant game by BLT there. TSM sadly not getting it. But I gotta say, Feckface played really well both games.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we saw a lot of good play in both of these games. And
I mean, I want to say that, like,
like the most generic statement ever. But obviously there's flashes of brilliance here inside some, we'll say, questionable decisions.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to say that Feckface, just for me personally, looked like the highlight of TSN. He looked like even when his team was losing, he looked dominant in both games. I mean, and in that game, he had like really good CS numbers, even though he was behind and getting zoned out. He beat his opponent in CS from behind.
Yeah.
Obviously, Italian Dyrus was taking a lot of CS compared to Toxic Liberator, but still. But I just wanted to give him some like personal thumbs up, even though he lost the series.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did well.
One thing I think that TSN could work
They
on
had some great. Yeah. Okay.
is
Go.
I think Rusty looked uncomfortable on those picks, or if not uncomfortable, he didn't really.
Oh, he was
seem
an
to know
off roll.
where
Yeah, he was a
going.
sub.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe it was just the communication issue in this case.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly I think that that's a place to go from. We saw last season, I forget which team it was, but they had a jungler who would hit the go button all the time, and often in wildly inappropriate scenarios. But every single time he went in, the entire team knew, okay, our jungler just dove into the enemy team. We need to go now, and they'd win every team fight. We saw them with a sub, and it was a completely different team. They looked awful, comparatively, because they didn't have that easy go button. So that could be what we're seeing here. So keep that in mind when we're giving feedback to these teams, I'll say, because it's not, I mean, I guess it's technically criticism, but we're trying to work on learning here at Learning Fives.
Yeah.
Team synergy is a big part of things at any level of team play.
Yeah, and I think, I think both junglers in both games kind of struggled a little bit. I think that they weren't really like. I think both like teams weren't communicating perfectly with their junglers. As you saw, like BLT last game was like shoving every single wave. Like there was no way Sweeping Blade could gank, and he was clearly like, "What do I do now?" He felt pressured almost. He had a few Rengar ultis that like he couldn't do anything with because he just didn't know how to respond to that. So in that situation, he could have just, gotten vision control for his team, gotten prepared to counter gank, counter jungled the Gragas maybe. So, the junglers kind of weren't getting the support they needed from their team, or like they weren't communicating properly as a team. So that's not entirely on the junglers at all. And I mean, so he was probably being pressured by lanes to gank as well. They were probably saying like, oh, try to do something, like try to gank our lane, So.
Yeah, it's just one of those.
Both teams had some hiccups here and there, but
yeah, but I think overall that this is
a really nice series.
Yeah, this was a good series, and though Team Bullet took it 2-0 and fairly convincingly, I think maybe with the main roster we would see a much closer series because, as you were saying, Feckface looked really good.
Yeah, and I mean they did have a sub on BLT too. Not Diamond 5 was a sub. Flew over from EUNE, got onto his alternate account on EUW.
Yeah, called at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, hopped on a plane. I'm here to sub for Learning Fives, guys.
In an online tournament, it's fine.
Yeah, and I mean, Not Diamond 5 did have some synergy issues, but he's a sub too. But a sub in the jungle position is kind of much more critical than a sub in the support position, in my opinion at least. The support, it could definitely be played like much more plug and play sort of. And while the Zillion definitely had impact last game, he kind of could do that without communicating too much. His team got caught. Oh, I'll just save you guys, right? The Soraka, he needed more peel, and there was obvious more issues there with the Soraka, but yeah, good game from both teams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sadly, BLT takes it 2-0. So sad for TSN, but hooray for BLT, I should say.
Very, very happy for Team Bullet. I'm sure their coach is congratulating them now and, cheering loudly into his headset. So that'll wrap it up for us here for the EU show match for week 2. But there's more games coming up, as always, actually tonight at 9 p.m., which is in 4 hours. We're going to have the week 2, day 2 of NA show matches. I believe it's between D2 Dance and another team who I don't remember off the top of my head.
Give me 2 seconds and I can find it.
And you know where he's going to find it, guys? if you go on Twitch, which you can follow us on, by the way, you don't have to, but you can. If you go into the description, you'll find our Twitter and our Discord. And you know what's in that Discord? Announcements for all the games, the schedules, the players, and there's a bunch of discussion channels. So feel free to join it. Feel free to talk to any of us, tag whoever you want. Tag the players after the game and say, hey, you did really great. I don't know if they'd appreciate that, but you know what? It's an option with Discord.
Yeah, and it was Team D2 Dance, coached by Milkshake Mac, versus Team 67, coached by Kelsey. So if you know any of those guys or are interested anyways for some NA show matches, just come on by tonight. It should be interesting. I think D2 Dance was a pretty solid team last split, or last session, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, definitely come by. They definitely played a lot of show matches and were a pretty prominent L5
one of
team.
The staples in the show matches last session. So that'll be it for us tonight. I've been Nibiria. I've been joined by Epic Death Guy. Hope you have a good one. Enjoy the rest of the Star Guardian song, finally.